Hello there. Just a quick one. Just to help a new member of ours out. Quick video. So he's never played Evony before. So all of the little tips and hints that most of us have forgotten, I'm obviously trying to think of to try and help him out. So this is one for you, Maya. On your generals, mate. So if you was to look at, let's say, my wall general, you've got the skill books here, the level 4 skill books. Now obviously they're quite difficult to get when you're a new player. So the best way of doing them, rather than just applying level 4 straight away, let me just find a general. Which episode? Right, okay, so see the skill books, he's got none there. So if I wanted to say, let's, what type of general is he? Mounted troop attack, ground troop, mounted troop defense. Right, so he's mounted. So instead of just using one of these mounted troop attack skill books on him, if it'll apply, it depends on how high the attack is. That's 50%, so it might not. But instead of that, I'll go to defense. Yeah, so instead of just putting that level 4 skill book straight on, best way to go about it is to go all the way down to your level 1 skill books. And then put, let's say, mounted troop defense on him. And then mounted troop HP. And then this third one, as I apply this one, and this is why, let's say, march size. As I go to apply that, you'll notice that that one has been, it's replaced the book that I had there. Now, if that was a red skill book, you would have wasted that skill book. Whereas now what I can do is I can go back to defense, apply that, and now it's actually applied it. After it's applied it, you can then go up to your level 4 skill books, and that will apply over the level 1 straight away, and you won't be replacing the level 4. And that way you cut down on the amount of level 4s you're using, instead you're using level 2s. So that's the best way to go about it. So yeah. And then obviously you know about putting your gear on. Another thing, I don't know if anyone's told you about your subordinate cities. Essentially, all you're using those for is debuffs. The debuff the enemy that attacks you. So you debuff their attack, HP, and defense. And if I was to go to my subordinate city generals here, you don't need to worry too much, but the skills at the bottom, I always put training capacity, and that way my subordinate cities are always making more troops. Training speed to increase the speed that those troops are being made, and rebirth, which increases a city death to survival rate inside the subordinate city. Because if all of the troops in the sub-city die, then that general no longer applies the debuff. So using those skill books helps keep the troops in your city alive and training new troops faster. So if they do die, they get replaced quicker. So that's that. And then the other thing to look at is the gear that you put on. So on the gear, you can see I've got enemy ground troop HP debuff here, an enemy range troop HP debuff. Usually what you'd do is you'd work out where you're weakest and what you need to debuff the most. So if you cav heavy, you might want to debuff archers the most. Or if all of your siege are dying straight away, you might want to debuff siege the most. So you try and balance the debuffs in your subcity through the gear. So like this one is enemy range troop attack debuff. So you apply that gear to the subordinate city general. And he will then just help debuff the enemy attack. And when you apply him to the city, that then debuffs. And obviously you can balance it across lots of different ones. And you'll notice that each sub-city general on their main skill will debuff different things. Now you can do what I've done. I've tried to go relatively heavy on the siege debuff. because that's probably where I'm weakest. So I've concentrated on debuffing enemy ranged troop attack, enemy siege machine attack. And then if I go over to the next one, you'll see enemy ranged troop attack, mighty troops attack, and siege machine defense and HP. So balance it that way. And then this middle skill here, if you've not got a lot of rune stones, you can always just max out this middle one, and that'll give you another 10% enemy troop attack. So that applies to all 4 troop types, which is always nice. And then if you've got one that like this, you can do all of them if you've got a lot of rune stones saved up, and get that last one as high as you can. That'll help debuff. Now on the specialities, you can also put on these last speciality slot. You can put on one of these and upgrade it, and then that'll give you enemy ground troop defense and HP debuff. That's always nice. I think they've just increased the level of those as well, 200. And then the other thing with them is a lot of the let me remember the name. A lot of the spiritual beasts have debuffs on. So a lot of them that just end up sitting doing nothing, you can apply them to the generals in your subordinate cities to help debuff things. So like this one, Prismalas, enemy ranged troop attack, 52% debuff. When defending, enemy ranged troop defense 104. I'm not sure that 104 will apply to anything but the subordinate city troops, but the enemy ranged troop attack one will apply to everything. So they'll help defend my main city with the debuff. Same with these. So you can go through and decide which ones you want to put on and focus it to the whichever way you're looking. And then the other thing, mate, is there's a little building that's hidden down at the bottom right of your city there, called the Coronation Fountain. You can get buffs and debuffs in the Coronation Fountain. So I've been working on this one. All troops attack and defending ranged troop attack. So I've been working on trying to upgrade that one. But if you've not spotted that building, that's a good little area where you can get some buffs that you've probably not noticed. Another place to unlock buffs that you might not have noticed is by clicking on that card in here. As you upgrade these up to red and purple, this little thing at the bottom, you can claim the buffs within that, and then at the bottom it'll tell you buffs that you've got for each one. You can do that. That's a nice little area to get some free buffs. So I think that's everything that I'm needing to tell you right now, and I shall catch you another time. Bye guys.